Hi everyone, Oleg here. This week we are on a sailing trip in Greek Dodecanese Islands. We are on a catamaran, and this time we chartered the catamaran because we have kids 2 to 6 year age, so we have 5 kids on board, so we had to have a bit more space for them to go around. I wanted to share with you my 5 takeaways of this week of sailing with kids and why I think it's another good experience to expose the kids to. So number one, I would say, is definitely a lot of sense of adventure in sailing, and you have to plan things, you have to take wind into consideration, you have to take your route into consideration, and sometimes you need to adapt depending where you choose to stop or not. So definitely lots of things that provide that sense of adventure, provide that sense of new novelty, of wide range of experiences. The second key takeaway from this week, I would say, the kids definitely had to discover new skills and new experiences. For example, my daughter suddenly, so the first time she ever snorkeled, she loved it, she discovered how to do it, and she just does it pretty much all the day, and I think she's doing that now. So this environment exposes you to to just get on and do it. And sometimes the kids love that experience, and that remains with them for the whole life. And I like snorkeling myself. I discovered it a bit too late, I would say, and I'm super happy that my daughter has discovered it early enough to know that there is a world below the water and how does it look like. And I hope they will still have a world below the water when they are adults as well. So the third thing is that the kids do learn about safety a lot and about dangers. Of course, sailing is not super dangerous. I mean, I think statistically sailing is actually less dangerous than even flying. I have to double check that. That's what I remember from a book I've read. What I want to say is, of course, there are dangers for kids when you have small kids on board. They need to get used to understand where is dangerous, and when the boat is on the move, it can be dangerous or not, and what situations where kids should stay when it's dangerous, but not limiting them too much from the experience. So it's a fine balance that you need to discover how it works best. And what worked for us was to build in some rules within the limits. For example, when the cat is on the move, they need to be in a particular place, or when we do maneuvering, when we are mooring, when we are anchoring, and all that, they need to stay behind, and then they are free to play. Sense of freedom is another key takeaway from sailing. That's more for me. I hope my kids also, and the kids around on the boat this time, do appreciate that sense of freedom. We can decide where to go, when to go, pretty much limiting ourselves to the conditions of the nature and winds. But if we love a place, then we are free to stay there a bit more overnight if we choose to. So it's beautiful. I think there are not so many beautiful experiences that can expose you to that extreme sense of freedom. So we just love it. And the fifth, I would say, takeaway is the hyper stimulation to learn all sorts of things. Kids keep asking things like why this rope is tied in that way, why the boat rolls, why the jib is in that and that position, this day, and you know, why the shade is on that side, you know, why I cannot jump from the top of the catamaran and things like that. So you definitely see a lot of why questions, and I think it's beautiful because it exposes to new learning. So yeah, these are my 5 takeaways from the first week of sailing on a catamaran with kids. Cheers.